and welcome to the Women of Color in Business podcast. I am Lynette Cottrell, your host, and I am so delighted you decided to join us today. We are going on a transformative journey of embracing radical self-love and unlocking the full potential in both our personal and business lives. This podcast is dedicated to empowering us, Black women entrepreneurs, to break free from self-limiting beliefs and guiding us towards our best self. So if you're just starting your business or you've been at it for a while but feel stuck, we got you. Welcome to your safe place. We honor your unique business journey. Here is where you remove your mask, wear your own style of comfort, and get ready to soar. Together, we will grow exponentially and challenge the statistics of how our businesses headed and founded by Black women entrepreneurs, start, grow, and last. So enjoy this great episode and be sure to help us grow by letting your sisters in business know about us so they can also follow us, like us, give us 5 stars, and leave comments. We want to hear from you and know what you want to hear from us. Together, we're going to build a great ecosystem here, impacting the number of Black women-owned businesses that grow and last. All right, sisters, let's jump right into it. Well, hello, my wonderful audience of the Women of Color in Business podcast. We have with us today another beautiful and brilliant Black woman. And I'm going to give her the opportunity to begin by introducing herself to you and her business.
Sure. Thanks for having me, Lynette. My name is Makisha Boothe. I am the founder and CEO of Sistahbiz Global Network, and we are an online learning community and a strategic planning platform for Black women founders.
Oh, wonderful. I love that. That is so interesting. So tell us a little bit about how you got started.
So originally we started and we didn't have an online platform. We were doing training, coaching, technical assistance on the ground in live in-person events, as well as like just, having some virtual events via Zoom. And we did that. We started in about 2018, and
Okay.
it all started because I got fired from a six-figure job.
Okay.
And it was actually quite traumatic. And um, I decided I had a small business background. To be clear, I worked for the SBA. I'd run my own day spa in the past. And so me being in corporate was, not my only experience. And I wanted to go back to small business ownership for myself. And I started consulting. And within months, I was, past the six-figure line. And a few women had heard about me having success after what happened in my job situation and said, "Hey, I'm in the same experience. I'm in the
Mm,
workplace. I'm experiencing trauma. I'm being pushed out, or I can't stay there for my own mental and emotional well-being. Can you
right.
help me figure out this entrepreneurship thing? Because if I was making money for them, I can certainly make money for myself."
Right.
So that's how it started, with just
Okay.
2 or 3 women asking me about that, and then me meeting with them, and then just coaching just out of the kindness of my heart, but also it was healing for me because I felt
Uh,
validated, like it wasn't just me. There are other people, there's a whole system here, and this is my way of fighting that system by helping other sisters make it. And so that's
okay.
kind of how we started.
All right. That's remarkable. Remarkable. So you said you had prior experience with owning your own business and that sort of thing. How many years of experience would you say you had prior?
I opened my first business in 2002-ish.
Okay. Uh-huh.
And then I worked for the SBA in the late 90s, was a SBDC consultant for many years. So, I mean, at this point now, 20, 30 years of experience in small
Right.
business.
Yeah, so that's like a wealth a wealth of information you have, right? Not just knowledge, but hands-on experience in knowledge.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So take me back to when you started your first business. What was that process like for you?
Oh goodness. I haven't told that story in a long time. I had a little small nail shop. So I was just out of college. I had put myself through college by doing nails. That's how a lot of us start. We have a craft and then
Yes.
decide to turn it into a business. And we don't realize that it's a separate body of work to build the business than it is to actually deliver the service or the craft. And
Yeah.
so I was like, I'm doing nails. I might as well own my own salon.
Uh-huh.
And I was, my sister was also doing nails. So she actually was the one who was insisting that we do it. And I had worked for the SBA and I understood business at a higher level. So I was like, that sounds crazy. That sounds like a lot of work. But we went for it and we did it. And honestly, it was like one of the most amazing and game-changing things that I ever did in my life. Obviously led me down the path of entrepreneurship. But in the beginning, we had $5,000.
Uh-huh.
$5,000, and even that was scraped up on credit cards and in the bank and everything, and it was just hilarious. And we built this little nail salon boutique. It was like a hallway of a space and like this like kind of small kind of character house. Now it was in a really upscale neighborhood, so that helped in terms of traffic and clientele, but it was a very small beginning for starting a business, which actually was perfect for us. And because we had no prior experience really applicable or application wise. And so launched the business and learned all the things, learned about no matter how much you read about cash flow until you're actually managing it, you don't get it.
Yes.
You don't
Yes.
understand the intricacies of it, the tips and the routines and the rituals and the consulting help from accountants or bookkeepers that you need. You don't know what to look for. You don't know what to put in place. You don't know how to manage cash flow challenges. You just kind of winging it.
Mm.
And so there's cash flow, that was a big thing. And then
Mhm.
also I would say partnership, being in a partnership was a big thing. Me and my sister did not do great at being partners. I mean, in some ways we had a great experience, but then it and ultimately was not the best fit in terms of partnership and not really understanding how to screen for partners and make sure that you're a good fit for each other because it's very much like a marriage. And if it's with family, that intensifies it even more.
Yes.
So those are some of the things like, you know, really learning marketing and operations and systems. Like you read about them, you even participate in them in your mainstream corporate world, but you never learn how to build them yourself or what they mean to your business when you're
Mm.
a young 20-year-old business owner. So yeah, that was quite it was called, we did pretty good with branding. We were called Yaya Spa.
Okay.
We were tailored toward like Yaya sisterhood, so girls packages and all the things, sisterly friend like kind of packages. And so we did okay with branding and that kind of thing because I kind of had a knack for it. But yeah, that was Yaya. I still have people that run into me like, you're Yaya, because they started
Oh,
calling.
really?
My name is not Yaya, but they would call me Yaya because the spa became known, the nail spa became.
Oh, yeah. So you had excellent branding. They remember that till today when they see
Till
you.
today, I would say just even December. So now I closed Yaya in 2007. This past December, I was teaching another workshop, and I asked everybody in the room how long they'd been with me and with Sister Biz. And somebody raised their hand and said, I was with you at Yaya. And I was like, what? So yeah.
Wow, that's remarkable. I love hearing that story. It's a great illustration of how we get an idea what, but one thing you did when you went from your ideal to starting your business, was that a short span of time from when you
In
said
what
we should
process?
open a nail salon to actually doing it? What was
Oh,
that?
how long was it? Was the startup process to get up and going?
Yes.
I would say we were already doing nails at other salons, so we probably took about 6 months or so to build it and get it up and running. Maybe even shorter, because what I think happened is the space opened out of
Mm,
nowhere. So we had been entertaining doing it, but then when the space opened, we rushed into a mode to say this is a really good deal and a really good location. If we're gonna do it, let's do it. So I mean, when I say we did. We just jumped off the cliff in the most crazy
Okay.
way. $5,000 in 3 months, like it was just nuts.
Wow. Yes. Wow.
I don't recommend that.
Right.
We
That's
had this
remarkable.
thing called year zero is what I talk to some of the women who come to me who are starting businesses about. If you have the opportunity to have a year zero, take it. And what the year zero is the year before you actually open your doors, where you take a real strong, solid year to plan appropriately. We did not do that.
Understood. And most of us thought we're either on one end of the spectrum, either we jump right in really quickly or we wait for years before we get
Mhm.
started, right? So that year zero is a sweet spot, right?
Yeah.
That most of
And
us
it's more
don't believe.
intentional. It's like,
Right,
it's very structured planning year.
right. Which is great. That's an excellent idea. But I also want to touch on the point where you were talking about your journey with that first business, how much you learned because you, as entrepreneurs, and you were a partnership, so you weren't really a solopreneur, but you had your sister there together, but you still, between the two of you, you had to wear all the hats and you had to learn the entire system of entrepreneurship.
Yeah, for sure. And I had, like I said, I'd worked for the SBA by then. So I had resources. And that's really important. If you're an entrepreneur, your network is everything. Like who you can
Yes.
call on, where that knowledge lies, really helps reduce that learning curve, send you the resources and the consulting you need when you need it for various challenges. And so I had worked at the SBA right under the district director, who at the time was a Latina woman, and she kind of took me under her wing. And so I knew a lot of folks from the SBA and that sort of thing. So I had places I could call when I ran into things,
Um,
say like, how do I do this? What do I do? Who do I
right.
call who can help me with this?
Right. That's an excellent resource to have. So that's great. So um, from that, from your Nelson line, you got into corporate America.
Really government. I went to work for the state capitol in Colorado and then to DC. And then when I came back, I worked for the school district here at Denver Public Schools running their innovation lab.
Okay. Okay. So it's the Innovation Lab where what's your last position before you went into your consulting business? Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So during those years, now you're leaving the innovation lab and you are kind of organically thrown into your consulting business because people are coming to you for information and you're just sharing it organically. And
Right, exactly.
so how
Exactly.
did
That
that?
happens for so many of us, right? Like we are
Yeah,
starting our businesses because we can see by people being drawn to us that we have a gift or something to offer and it's useful, so why not monetize it?
right, right. Great experience. So when you decided, okay, I'm going to monetize this, because just hearing you talk briefly about what you do, there are a lot of moving parts to the services that you offer, right? It's not just one particular thing. Most resources usually focus in one area, but you sound like you have their full service shop for, Black women entrepreneurs. So tell us a little bit about Sister Biz and your experience working with entrepreneurs. What does that look like?
Yeah. So you're right. We do offer a few things, but I would say all of what we offer centers around strategic planning for a Black woman in business. So helping you design a profitable model and then helping you build a strong game plan that you can execute on. And then you have this community in this online space where you can come back to each month to make sure that you're executing on the key planning elements of your business, that you're monitoring the data to make sure that the things you're doing are working, and so we really are a strategic planning hub. We build things in a way that matter to and meet Black women where they are and really talk about things as in a relevant way to what we have to deal with.
Hmm.
I was in a room with a group of non-Black investors a couple of years back, and I remember saying, and this is like, I think pre-pandemic. And I remember kind of sharing with them what Sister Biz does and that there's a struggle with access to capital for us. A lot of us don't have funding.
Right.
And one of the investors said, well, why don't you just ask your friends and family for the money? And so I was like, I didn't think of that. Why am
Right.
I here? I'm gonna just
Right.
go.
You're so
Me and all
brilliant.
my
Yeah.
members and Sister Biz, we just gonna go ask our family.
Right.
Like, and so when you're dealing with a mainstream world that asks those types of questions and
Yes.
you have to explain yourself,
Yes.
can be exhausting. It can be feel like racial battle fatigue, and sometimes in some instances, it can make you feel a little ashamed or
Right.
just like you're not understood. And so I wanted Sister Biz to be a place where when you're going through building your businesses, when those sorts of things come up, you don't have to explain yourself. Your coaches
Right.
understand what you're going through, the groups, the subgroups, the work groups you're in, they understand it, you get it, and we can support each other through it with real tangible solutions and ideas that are relevant, culturally relevant.
Wonderful, wonderful. I love that. One of the things that inspired me to start the podcast was because I was going to all the workshops. I was getting into entrepreneurship, trying to learn, okay, what are the processes? Help me understand this. And as I went through them, I realized that, okay, they said do A, B, C, D, and you'll get to E. And I would do A, B, C, D, and I was not getting to E. So I realized, okay, the journey for me as a Black woman is going to be different. Okay, they can do A, B, C, D and get to E, but I can't. I have a different experience. And so I started realizing where I can't be the only one feeling this way. There has to be other Black women entrepreneurs who are trying to take the steps, the right steps,
Right.
and can't figure out why is it just not working, right? Because
That's
we
right.
have a totally different journey in entrepreneurship than they have, just like we have a different journey in life in general. So
That's
it,
right.
it transfers into the entrepreneurship journey. And if we're surrounded by people that are not living our lives, they are not Black women entrepreneurs, to your point, they will look at you and like not understand, well, why can't you just like what I did, why didn't you just get that loan or get that grant? Like why wasn't it that easy for you? So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love the points that you brought up. Very, very valid, very important.
Yeah. A lot of our members say that that is one of the number one reasons why they continue to stay loyal to and work in the community is because they do feel like it's a safe space where they're understood and where the solutions that we provide actually show that we understand where they're at.
Mm, right. And that's very important solution. So I'm not just coming to you to vent and complain. I'm coming to you because I want a solution to move forward. I want to be successful in my
Yeah.
business. So when I come to you with something, what I get is the understanding of where I am and a solution for where I want to go. That's
So
what I'm here.
I always say we're not a sorority. It
Mhm.
may feel like that sometimes because the sisterhood is deep, but
Uh-huh.
we are not a social group and we're
Uh-huh.
not a sorority. And I say that with all the highest respect because I am a Delta. So,
Uh-huh.
but what we are is a place where you're going to come and like do work. And so
Right.
you're going to do the work of building your business because what can be frustrating for me and that I've seen over the years is that social media has really hyped up entrepreneurship to be this thing where you don't get to see the sausage getting made, so you never know you got to actually make it.
Hmm.
You hear about people's stories and their success stories in a way that make you feel like you can get it overnight. And for many people, it takes 5, 10, 12 years. The average business that actually makes it to the $10 million mark, that those businesses actually take around 12 years to get there.
Hmm.
And nobody tells you that because
Right.
the rapid accelerated growth movement is in place, in which they don't tell you that many of those businesses, the majority, high majority of those businesses do not succeed. They're not sustainable. And actually steady, sustainable, predictable revenue and growth is the way to go, the pathway to go if you really want something long term that can turn into an asset for you. And so our work is for the serious entrepreneur who's like, no, I want to understand the skill sets I need to build as an entrepreneur, how to make the right decisions, how to design a profitable model, how to lead and pick the right team to do what I'm trying to do. And so I want to go somewhere where they're going to walk me step by step and give me the roadmap to learn those things and build something sustainable. So when you dial into our platform, we start with what we call work groups. They're basically like courses with modules and tools and templates and lectures and audios. And we walk you through building your vision and building your model and then setting your goals and knowing your numbers. And we even have a goals page. Once you get your numbers mapped out, you enter your numbers in and your strategies in. And once you enter those things in, you can update them every month. And there's more work groups to help you implement those strategies. So it really is a planning space and a work
Mm.
space and a learning space. It's not a space for just like one-off workshops.
Right. I love that. I love that. So there's a structure and a process to guide you step by step. It's not you just not just randomly coming, okay, today I'm going to learn about marketing, right?
Right.
When you don't have the first thing in place. You're jumping into marketing because I saw someone on Instagram and I think I need to make some posts. So let me
That's
learn
right. It
about,
happens a lot though. People put
yes,
they definitely will put the cart before the horse and that starts to their detriment, like in the business success is impacted as a result because they don't understand, they don't have a strong enough foundation in place, or they don't have the patience to build that foundation. Like and if
that
you
is
if
key
you if you
too.
work on traffic, because that's what everybody wants. I want traffic, I want clients. But if you bring clients into a business model or a business strategy that is broken or a business funnel that is broken, it's like pouring water into a jug with a hole in it. Like, why?
Right.
You're
Right.
going to lose all those clients. You're going to lose all that traction. You're going to hurt your brand. So do it right to start with. And so,
Wonderful, wonderful. I think I'm just listening to you talk about the service you provide in the training that you give. It sounds like a an academy for entrepreneurs.
yeah, it
It
is very
sounds
much
like
like that.
hmm
Yes, it's very much like that. And I would say the difference between like more formal structured academy or university style learning platform and us is the community piece. So
hmm
every month we have sprints. So this month is Spring Clean My Business. So we've got a set of high impact projects that will help you organize your systems and structures in your business. And you're going to get project plans for those each project. And I'm talking about basic stuff that you like to put off, like I need to clean up my email funnel. I need to organize my inbox. I need to clean up and reorganize and put naming conventions behind my files and folders in Google Drive.
Today's podcast is being sponsored by our Golden Cowrie Shells Academy, offering the first and only compassionate accounting course for and by Black women in business. Are you a Black woman entrepreneur who hates looking at the numbers, budgeting, and financial reports? You wish you had a partner to explain this difficult language of money to you in simple terms? Then we have created this course for you. Imagine being guided through automating and streamlining your business accounting processes and money pain points. Having all your questions answered by professionals with over 25 years of experience working with entrepreneurs just like you. Being welcome to a safe place where every question is valid and all answers are judgment free. Join our course, Counting Golden Cowrie Shells, the compassionate accounting course Black women in business deserve for building profits, financial freedom, and legacy. Visit our website today for more details and registration www.wocib.org.
You think these things are
Mm,
like not important and they actually steal time away from you. They actually create chaos. And when you steal time and create chaos, that hurts your capacity and it can hurt your brand. It can hurt team
mm,
culture if everyone's confused and everything's not in order.
right.
So spring clean your business is us giving you the project. Like these 7 projects, if you really set aside time to work on these types of projects, you'll see it impact your team culture, your client relationships, and your bottom line. And we're going to give you the project plans and the templates, and we're going to check in with you each week. And then you're going to have a study hall at the end of the month. So there's just a lot of that kind of
Yeah,
experience where we're in community together. Like, okay, girl, did you finish your email automation sprint? And did you
right.
finish your, Google Drive project and dialing in. And then the other piece that makes us different than your typical kind of just like business development academy is we do a lot of stuff around social emotional support. So we have what we call Black girl therapy. So like for instance, last month we came together to talk about grief and how
Mm,
grief can actually um, for a lot of people, we see this a lot. Grief can be something that puts your business on hold or stalls your business, or you can fall off track. You don't even realize you're hard on yourself. You're thinking, I'm not making it happen. This is not working for me. You don't realize, no, sis, you got some stuff going on in here. And of
mm,
course, that's going to creep over into the business.
right.
Extend grace to yourself and handle that. Like do
Mm,
the therapy and the healing work and whatever you need to do to heal yourself and recover and restore and come back to the business, and it's okay if that happened to you. Let's figure out how to get you back on track. So, business related therapy almost like is what our Black girl therapy circles are about. So, we do stuff like that each month that
right.
so that it's
That,
not just the learning materials.
yes, and that's very real. That's very necessary too, because I like to say that I am very invested in Black women building profitable businesses, but making sure that they pour into their joy, health, and wealth
Hmm.
along the way, right? Because
Yeah.
we deserve to have wealth without sacrificing our joy and our health.
Hmm.
So I think it's very unique that you incorporate that in a entrepreneur type growth program that you realize, okay, we're dealing with the whole person here.
Yeah.
Because as entrepreneurs, especially solopreneurs, every trigger you have is going to come up while you're building your business.
Oh, even when
Every-
solopreneurs and when you have a team, then you impacting the whole team.
That's right.
Oh,
That's
it
right.
gets even more complex and layered when you're trying to lead a team and you're bringing your baggage into the business and not being aware of it, not
That's
managing.
it. Yes, yes. Not thinking this relates to that and I need to handle this so I can do that better. Thinking, oh no,
Right.
this is business, that is personal. You're the whole person. You're the same person trying to accomplish both.
Yeah.
So it needs to be tended to. So I just love that you have incorporated that as part of the process. And it makes complete sense. Wow.
Yeah.
So when you talk about your program and the things that you walk new entrepreneurs, say if I came in today off the street and I got this business that I've kind of started, but I don't know why I just can't get it off the ground. And so I heard about your program. I really feel like it sounds like the type of community I want to be a part of. Um, what kind of time frame are we talking about, for my business when I get started with you?
So it depends on where you're at with the business. So I don't typically um work with a business that's not like already established. What I mean by that is like if you still haven't gone to the state and registered your business and you don't have any products or service or any clients at all, and you're or maybe even not even a name for your business, like not that
Right.
early on.
Got
Um,
it. Got it.
we
So
have
I've been in business 2 years. I have a couple of clients. I've got all my registrations. I got my separate bank account even, right?
Right.
So,
But my
but
revenue's not there. I don't have a lot
exactly.
of clients. Like you said, I might have one or two, and I
Right.
haven't really seen the type of success I want. I'm not sure why. That tends to be more of what we have. We do have new folks, but usually they figured out what they're going to sell. They figured out a name, they've registered their business, and but most of our folks, and a lot of Black women, you know. they have been in business for a few years and just it's not been, producing for them. And
Mm,
so you come in and it usually means we're going to have to, if you're in a position where you can see that you're not gaining revenues, even though you called yourself building the business up,
right.
that means we're usually going to start you back with the beginning. Like, what is your vision for the business? Do you even have a model that is even profitable? Do you have a business idea that has been validated? Because a lot of people just want to sell what they're good at without even knowing if there's a market for it
Hmm.
and not being willing to hear when there isn't a market for it.
Mm,
And a lot of people build so much before testing that when we ask them to consider making changes, they can't because they're so married to all the time that they put
right.
into building the wrong thing that they'd rather
Right.
go with the wrong thing and keep pushing it than scrap it and start from scratch to get it right so they think they can build something that gets results. And that's a hard thing to watch as a
Yes.
coach.
Yeah.
That's one
Right.
of the
Right.
hardest things for me to watch as a coach when I'm like, no, sweetheart.
Because you know, and you're like,
No amount of like putting frosting on that cake is gonna make
right.
that cake taste
Right.
good.
Throw it out and start over.
Yes. And so you miss some key steps. Usually you haven't done some work or you've done it because you've participated in other workshops. But here's the key. You'll hear people say some of the very same things that we say. You need to make sure you know who your customer is. You need to have a really solid product and offer with a value proposition that stands. You need to make sure your brand strategy and messages resonate with a niche authority or a niche audience, or that's a more effective way for a small micro business to succeed. You'll hear those things everywhere and you'll automatically think, oh, I did that already. But
Right.
sometimes 8 times out of 10, when people dial in and they show me their work, it's not really done. And by done, I mean it's one thing to um, do something, and then there's another thing for it to do something that works. So if your car is broken and you go under the hood and you spend all day working under your car and you come back up, the only way that work matters is if when you put the key in, it actually turns on the car. I get a lot of folks who've been under the hood a lot, but the car still doesn't turn on. And so that's how you know when you haven't really finished the work and you got to go back to usually the foundations. It's not usually traffic, it's usually you got the wrong customer. It's not usually
Mm,
your funnel. It's usually like the basics and the foundations that actually empower the funnel that you didn't get right. And a lot of women sell too much and do too much instead of narrowing down because they think that's going to get them more money. And it's one of the most scariest things for our women to do is for them to niche down and narrow down. But those are the businesses that succeed. So it's that kind of stuff that we're working with you on. And we're making sure that you don't just do the work under the hood, but that you test it. Okay, you said you did it, now go run it. If somebody buys, then we're good. If not, then come back. And so that cycle, it can be frustrating if you're not ready to put in the time to do that work.
yes. Yes. I can just, I'm just envisioning why you're saying that. Um, how I've seen that, how we tend to think, okay, if I offer five things instead of one, then I have more options for making money. And someone might not want, number one, but they might want number four. So I need to offer all five of these, right?
Mhm.
And now you're saying just focus on, well, what about the other four? Then I'm losing money if I'm not offering all five. So I
Mhm. And
get
you're
what you,
actually losing money by offering all five because now
yes.
you have to pay for all five because there's a cost for everything you have to deliver.
Hmm.
You can't really turnkey five things the way you can one. And so that means that you have to customize what I see with service-based businesses, but even sometimes product. Product will have just this ridiculously long inventory. They're trying to or you have everything in every flavor.
Right, right.
But for service-based businesses, what I'll see is that they'll offer all these different services and then and also let the customer kind of bully them around in terms of like what they're going to offer. And so then what it means is every time you service a client, you have to do it a different way. You have to use a different process. You
Yes.
have to go through a different, and so
Exhausting.
exhausting. And that's what I see
Exhausting.
a lot of exhausted Black women founders. And when they narrow down and they become good at one thing and they know their lane, they can build turnkey systems around it. And then they can build this brand where they become known for that. Like, and when they start turning people away, that's when I know they're really getting it. Like,
Yeah.
and they start finding referral partners. No, I don't do that, but here's what I do. And then people start
Yeah.
trusting you more because they know you're going to be honest with them about what is your expertise, what you do, and that you'll send them to good referrals too. And so, if you have strong referral partners, and so there's just so many reasons to narrow down, but I promise you, it's one of the number one challenges I have with clients. And even when I tell them what I'm telling you now before we start coaching, they're like, I'm gonna do it, coach. And then they get in there and I'm like, and then they can't. They
They're like, but you were talking about other people that need this help, not me, not my 5 items. I understood it was
exactly.
about the other people, but my 5 items are good.
I'm good. Like I
You see,
was helping you with them. I'm
Makisha, yeah, can't you see my 5? It's different.
exactly,
I
exactly.
understand. So that is just what you give. It's just, I don't know, just priceless. I mean, I cannot imagine a entrepreneur having access to all of that knowledge, experience, and the hand holding through the process because most of us didn't grow up around entrepreneurs, right? Most of
That's
us,
right.
it's the first, we're the first ones stepping out to do this. So there's a lot of gaps in information and
Hmm.
education that we don't have, right? We may
That's
know
right.
one or two parts of it. Okay, I know one or two parts of what it takes to own a business, but those parts are not even number one and number two. They're like number eight and number three. So
That's
there's a
right.
lot ahead that I need to learn. There's a
Yeah.
lot in between that I need the gaps filled in, and I don't know what I don't know.
Yeah,
So
I
coming to,
definitely agree.
yeah,
That first generation entrepreneur learning curve is real. And
yeah,
then also because we have a community that where there's a great disparity in wealth, we often don't have wealthy business owners just in our immediate circle to say
so,
like, hey, what would you do about this? How did you go through this phase? And the other thing is that your business goes through phases of growth. And so depending on what phase you're in, you need different strategies, a different team sometimes, and that's difficult because if you built a relationship with your startup team, your growth team might not be the same team.
mm,
And so that looks like how do you transition those relationships? How do you know if that's and when to do that? It can hurt, it can end up like with relationships being torn apart if you don't know how to really, if you don't understand what's going on and don't communicate and manage those relationships in a healthy way. And so, it's just a lot to it that you won't know until you go through it. It's almost impossible to just learn everything there is to being an entrepreneur in any course. And
mhm.
that's why Sister Biz isn't really about being like a one-time course. It's about being a place you can come to every month as you grow and evolve as a business owner. And our coaches, just the passion that I have, the love that I have for our founders, the commitment that I have to them, our coaches are the same way. All of our coaches are so serious about seeing Black women win. And there's not a lot of places where Black women can go and feel like they want me to win. They want it, they're in it with me. I have other women going through this, and then a lot of times our families don't understand if they're not entrepreneurial, and they may even discourage us. And so you need to come to a community with other women who are like, no, girl, this is just Wednesday as an
Right,
entrepreneur.
exactly,
Like,
exactly.
but keep
It's just
going.
another day. It's just an average day. We're gonna get through it and keep going. It happens. You're
Yeah.
right. That is so true. And I think so what you're doing, I think that, we know that Black women-owned businesses are the fastest growing new small businesses in the US. And the challenge is staying in business and growing your business to be profitable beyond that 5 year mark. So,
Hmm.
and I think the things that you provide, because a lot of times if we're out here on our own trying to figure it all out and we get things wrong, and the only people we have to talk to are people that are not business minded, they are corporate minded or job minded. It's kind of like there is not that encouragement to keep going, right? They don't know how to tell you to keep going. They don't know how to tell you if you just go around the bend, it's going to get better because they haven't been there. So it's very important to be in a community that can support you with that and give you that encouragement and give you that feedback so that you can stay on track and build your business and not just close doors in 2 or 3 years because you just got lost and you didn't know what to do next.
Yeah, for sure. Something else that kind of came up for me that I'm thinking about is that's unique, I think, to the Black community, particularly in America, because of the legacy of slavery, is that we come from generations and generations of a country that has positioned us as laborers. And so when you start a business, you come with that mindset and it can be hurtful to your business. It can obviously help you that you know how to work hard, but then
Right,
when you position yourself as a permanent laborer in the business, you're not building a business, you're building a job. And so when I was working with, I have a lot of white male mentors that have come across my path. I have all different kinds of mentors, but what I noticed with my white male mentors that I've worked with, that I've over the years, is that when they come up with a business idea, they say, I have a business idea. And you can just see them processing. And the first thing they think about is who's going to build this for me? But when we think about, I have a business idea, we're like, girl, let me get the shopping list out. I'm gonna get the bricks out and start building. I'm gonna get the construction. I'll call my friend and and you just start thinking about what do I do? All the
right,
labor that I start thinking about how do I become a laborer that creates this business, not how do I create a business and then think about a labor model.
right.
And as a result, what I do is I create this business that always depends on my hard labor with no
Yes,
support. And I
yes,
work myself into the ground and
yes,
I never build something that can work without me. And if I do luck up and get revenue and it works out, it's still on my back and I can't take a
yes,
vacation. And now I've trapped myself. And so
yes,
that's a very common thing for a lot of entrepreneurs to do, but specifically Black women, we know how to work hard.
right.
That's what this country has done to us for so many years. And many
Yes,
other countries where in the Black diaspora experience this thing. We have been labor all over the world. And
everywhere.
that's an example of something that's very unique to our diaspora and our culture that
Mhm.
you have to address and be able to talk about safely as you
Exactly.
build your business. So what does it look like for me to lose that labor mindset? It looks like me and you having a really hard, tough discussion about how we're going to build your freedom plan so you're not the person on the front line delivering these services and products within the next 15 months. What do we need to
Right.
do to get there? And
Mhm.
mapping that out, giving you the tools, giving you the roadmaps. So that's one example of the type
Yeah.
of challenges we try to tackle together in Sister Biz.
Definitely, definitely. I love that. Two of my goals for this year for the podcast is to bring us information so that we learn how to structure a business so that we could take a vacation for a month and it still runs smoothly, right? Because that takes a totally different mindset. And it's exactly what you're talking about. We're no longer thinking about, oh, my hands have to be on it. I have to be there doing it. We're thinking about what systems are going to be running this, so that I can go away and just call in to check up on it and that's it, right?
Yeah.
I don't have to be there physically.
That's a good focus for the podcast. If you get a chance, you and your audience should read the book if you haven't already read it. Built to Sell.
Mm.
It really gets at the heart of that and
Okay.
E-Myth, but a lot of people have heard of E-Myth, but
Mhm.
Built to Sell is a really solid read too that helps you
Okay.
think about like what are the systems and what are the
Right.
structures in place for that.
Good. I looked that up. No, I haven't heard of that. So great. Thanks for that resource. Wonderful. So getting them organized so that we're not, because I like to say too, our ancestors had to work from sun up to sundown. They don't want us to
Exactly.
have to do the same thing. Where's the progress if we're doing the same thing?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
They want to
Listen,
see me be wealthy, but they don't want to see me be wealthy by working from sun up to sundown. They did that. So,
that's right. That's
right.
exactly right. I can't even do anything but co-sign what you just said because I feel it so deep in my soul. Like that's
Yes.
exactly right. Like our legacy should be that of, preparing, building on what they've sacrificed for us by
Yes.
creating, and this is part of the Rest is Revolution movement. Like
Yeah.
That's what I think about when I think about rest. I don't necessarily think about like being on vacation all the time, although that's part of it, or
Mhm.
napping, although the nap ministry is real too. I think about like what does it look like to create a lifestyle and a business that serves you and that you're not breaking your back over. And
Yes.
and you're able to fit into your life reasonable and you know, the type of rest you deserve, the type of breaks you deserve, the types of
Yes.
um peace you deserve.
Right. Totally, totally agree. This grind culture stuff is just it's totally unhealthy and it why would you want to be an entrepreneur if it means that you're working all the time? What
Listen,
would
you might as
attract
well
you
go
to?
on and back and work for somebody, and at least then you get some benefits and you get some assurance that somebody else is going to write the check and you get PTO because in
Okay.
entrepreneurship in the beginning,
You
no,
exactly. Do you give
no.
yourself PTO? Exactly.
Yeah, so you don't want to stay on that startup,
Right.
hamster wheel. You want to build something that eventually starts to take care of you. I often relate it to like a child, like a couple things when I use that analogy is that like a lot of times I'll see that overnight success idea is about like you thinking your business can take care of you and you're stressed out because you know that you need to make a certain amount of money so you don't have to go back to work. That's why you should really start a business with a freedom date in mind. Keep your day job, plan appropriately so that you're not stressed out trying to build a business because when you're stressed out trying to make sure you can get food on the table from a business that is an infant, it's like asking an infant to take care of you. You would not expect that. You know what I mean?
That
And so you
yes.
have to make space for your business to grow up. But then the other thing I see is people who have businesses that stay forever in infancy. And so you should really be thinking about what does maturity look like in my business and be building your game plan around like this, have this vision in your mind for maturity that we start there. That's the first work group in Sistahbiz is the Envision Growth work group where we help you envision maturity.
Ah. With all that you offer, so if I walk, am I walking, I walk into your door for your services, what does that process look like?
So we're a membership-based organization. Membership is $49 a month or $497 a year. Our coaching is literally the same premium coaching materials you get when you're working with a $5,000 or a $10,000 coach. And it's $49 a month or $497 a year. And you get the first 14 days free if you just sign into our app. It'll take you through a process of signing up. You'll get right in there, see our library, our work groups, our funding board, all our directory, all the things. And so just basically going to the URL app.sista.biz and it'll walk you right into our app.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's sounds like an excellent deal for any entrepreneur. I mean, that's wonderful with all that you give. It's kind of like it is totally full service plus, which means plus you get a atmosphere that cares about your mental wellness, right? Plus, you
Absolutely.
get an atmosphere where you're in community with um, women that look like you and understand your journey, right? So those are like bonuses that are um, intangible and
Yeah,
you cannot find everywhere else. So
absolutely.
kudos to you. I'm just so excited learning about everything you do because it is so 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 needed. I mean, I've talked to so many Black women entrepreneurs, and we share the same hunger for a community like that in a structure that would teach us, taking us step by step, teach us and fill in the gaps that of what we don't know. So
Yeah.
beautiful, beautiful. I'm just so so elated to have come across Sister Biz and to really now have an understanding of everything you do. It's just beautiful.
Thank
Brilliant,
you.
brilliant. So thank you.
Thank you for bringing this knowledge and this community to Black women entrepreneurs too, because we need it.
Yes, definitely, definitely. So you and your team, I'll be sending up some blessings for you guys because this is just amazing, amazing to me. So it's been so joyous spending this time with you, learning about your process, your program, your passion behind what you do for Black women entrepreneurs, um, getting a chance to discuss the struggles and the challenges that we face as entrepreneurs and sometimes the things we are reluctant to face and let go of, but understanding that there are systems in place to help us through the process. Now,
Right.
do you have any type of annual event?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So a couple of events to name, and this is not necessarily an annual event, but it's something to know that's happening right now. We're in our first premiere season of our YouTube series, and it's called Sisters Let's Talk Biz. And the focus of this season is with all the changes in American leadership,
Uh-huh.
like how are Black women who are going to navigate 2025. And so we have everything from attorneys to accountants to business coaches in each session, kind of talking you through some of the changes in executive orders in the White House and all that other kind of stuff.
Oh,
International
good.
tariffs and trade wars. We talk through all that
Ah,
every Tuesday right now. And so
okay.
it's called the Black Women's Roadmap to Surviving 2025. And
Okay.
so there's that. But our annual event, and it's actually our 10th annual this year, is called
Okay.
Gold Digger. And Gold Digger is a 3-year getaway retreat where we walk you, I'm sorry, 3-day getaway,
I was
right?
like 3 years.
3 years, that's a nice long sabbatical.
Okay, yeah. Tell me about the
Uh,
plan of that one.
3 days and you get away and you use the time to plan and we walk you through a very structured framework for building your strategic plan for the upcoming year. Every
Got it.
December we do that.
Okay.
And so yeah, that's our big annual in-person event. But yeah, then every month we have our monthly sprints and you can access that in the platform
Got
and
it.
all sorts of other activities. We had speed dating to find your business bestie last month. This
Mhm.
come in April, we're doing Sister Leads, our leads group. So there's always stuff going on virtually, but our in-person annual event is Gold Digger.
Ah, fun stuff. And that's gold, GOAL, gold
That's
digger.
right.
I know. I know.
Yes, exactly. It's Gold Digger because we're really helping people set their goals for the upcoming year.
Oh, that's wonderful. And another thing I just want to mention about your entire process is sometimes it's hard for us to get in rooms with people that are smarter than us, right?
Mm,
If
mhm.
if we're always surrounded by people who know as much as we know or know less than we know, right? How are we growing? What are we learning?
That's right. They say if you're in the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Uh,
Exactly,
yeah,
exactly. So I love to be in spaces where I'm uncomfortable, where I'm like, oh, what was that? What's she say? Where I need to take notes, where I need to go review my notes because I didn't catch it. Because
that's
that
so
way
good.
I
That's
know, yeah, I know somebody's dropping something into me. I know that when I leave this space, whatever they're pouring into me, I'm going to be better than I was when I walked in.
yeah.
So if I feel too comfortable and like you said, sometimes we may hear the same terms that we've heard in other places and think, oh yeah, I know that. But once we get the meat of what you're saying, we understand, oh, that's not what I got from the last time I heard that, right?
And sometimes, oh, this is a good, I feel like I could talk to you all day. Um,
Okay.
um, this is such a good topic that I talk about often. Like when I am training women, I'm like, I need you to not be afraid to learn the language of business
Mm,
and to
mm,
accept that that's a learning curve and you are in
yes,
student mode and it's okay if you don't know those metrics or those acronyms because sometimes people will make you feel like you're not enough or you don't because you don't know the metrics. But the truth is, you don't know those terms, you don't know those metrics, neither did the rest of us when we got started.
right, right,
And so it's just really important to not like allow any sort of shame or bashfulness to stop you from getting in rooms and asking questions and understanding what you don't know and the language you don't speak so that like I'm so excited when women go through our program and like you can tell the women who have been through our program and are coming into the more advanced programs that we're doing, and they're talking about average transaction value and burn rates, and they
Ah,
understand cash flow terms. They didn't start that way. They literally didn't start knowing any of it. And
right,
then they start, but we break it down and we make it accessible and tangible, and we don't treat you like you're stupid or something's wrong with you
right.
because you don't know. It's like very important to me that we have women at all levels supporting each other. And when you come to Gold Digger, for instance, I have you fill out a form so I can see where you're at. And I literally group you so that you can be at tables at your level, and then also have times during the experience where you mix with people who know more so you can mentor and support each other. So our business
Mm,
bestie structure is really important because we want to bring women along. We want to help women evolve and learn from each other and not feel like when I say I want safe space, I want safe space. I want you to feel like
yes,
I don't know what's going on. And I've literally
yes.
seen women start from like knowing none of these things to really moving to a place where they're having really thoughtful, strategic discussions. They can navigate those decision points more strongly because they move past that fear to learn that language.
I love that. I love that you make it a point to make them feel comfortable because a lot of times we can be in spaces and we can think, well, I must be the only one that don't know what she meant.
Yeah.
But she said that acronym, so I'm not going to act like I understand it too.
Right. That is
Right? I'm
so
just going
true.
to
That
just
is
act like
exactly
I
what
know what
happens.
she said, you know.
That's exactly what happens. And
Um,
also in our online platform, I do a lot of audio explaining of things so that people feel like, okay, I can go somewhere and not have to be in a live room and understand what this is. She's going to break it down in this video lecture or this audio lecture too.
Wonderful, wonderful. I love that. Yeah, and I could just keep talking to you because the more I talk, the more I think of like, oh wow, what about this? Oh wow, what about that? So
I know it. I know it.
I have you here all night, Makisha. So I'm gonna reluctantly have to close this out. I probably will want to have you back again.
I'd
Um,
be happy to come back.
oh good, good. I'm glad to hear that. So to close out with all the great stuff you've given us to think about, and I know I'm not the only one that has a heart full right now. I'm sure my listeners are going to have their hearts full when they hear all this, and they're going to be like, okay, how can I get into that? So we're going to, before we close out, we're going to let you give all of your contact information and how they can find out more about the program. But to close out, I ask for fun personal questions of my guests. So I'm
Okay.
going to start with you. The first one is, what was your favorite childhood game?
My favorite double Dutch.
Ah,
I
I
was
love
born and
that
raised in
too.
Harlem, New York City, and I was
Okay.
double Dutching it all the time.
All right. Sounds like fun, fun, fun. I love jump rope and double dutch too. Where is your either your dream place to travel or your favorite place that you've traveled to?
Dream place. I'll go with favorite place. I really love New Orleans.
Oh.
I love
Yeah.
good food. And
Yes.
Nola, listen,
You speaking my language.
give me some crawfish etouffee and some
Something. Just
fried
something.
alligator and some yes. I'm all the way here for Nola. Like I love
Yes.
New
Me
Orleans.
too. That's wonderful, wonderful. I love it. Okay, let's see. Who was your favorite teacher and why?
Mm, that's a very emotional topic for me because
Mm,
she passed away a year ago, but her name is
mm,
Mrs. Taylor. And she was my sixth grade teacher, and she was from Jamaica. I was my schools. I went to a Catholic school in New York City that was led by Black women, Caribbean women,
ah,
and they were very strict, and but they
mm,
loved us very much. And she was the person who probably had like a very transformational impact on my life. She was amazing.
mm. Nice, nice. I love that. I love that. If you could have a conversation with anyone from the past, who would you choose to have that conversation with and why?
It's like a strong tie between Harriet Tubman and my great grandmother.
Ah,
But I'll go with Harriet Tubman for the purpose of this discussion. And I think that, oh gosh, I would want to know how she would deal with the problems of today. I want
Mm.
to know like how she decided, there's a saying that, you don't roll with people that Harriet Tubman would have left behind. And
Uh-huh.
I would ask her, like, how did you decide who you invested time in versus who you decided wasn't ready? I would
Right,
ask her, like, well, I would just ask her, like, I don't know, I would ask her a ton of things. First,
right.
I'd be like, can I give you a hug? But I love Harriet Tubman. I've studied her
Yeah,
since I was a little girl.
yeah, she's amazing. She's amazing, incredible. Okay. So if was there anything else that you would like to share with us? Anything that we didn't touch on that you wanted to say?
No, I had the best time having this conversation with you. I think I got it
Wonderful.
all in. I felt like I talked a little bit too much.
Not at all, not at all. So lastly, I want you to share with our audience the best places to connect with you, connect with Sister Biz.
Sure. So our website is at www.sista.biz, and Sista is spelled Sistah biz. So that's where our website is. You can find all our stuff there. Our social media links are in the footer there. We're on
Okay.
Instagram.
Mhm.
We have a Facebook group online that's free and you can get into that.
Okay.
And then we have the YouTube channel that you can subscribe to and get notified of
Yeah.
our upcoming shows.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. I'll be on all your platforms before the night is out. So thank you again so much. You have blessed us with so much wonderful information. I love your community and what you do for Black women entrepreneurs. I can't wait for my audience to hear this information and tap into the resources in the community you've developed for us. So again, thank you so much. And I wish you and your team and Sister Biz the very best of joy, health, and wealth.
Thank you, Lynette, and thank you for having me.
Today's podcast is being sponsored by Your 90-Day Success Journal for Black Women Entrepreneurs by Lynette Cottrell. The journal is available on Amazon. It's inclusive of monthly goals, weekly and daily goals, affirmations, self-care practices, and inspiring quotes from other Black women. Be sure to get your copy today. Your 90-Day Success Journal. Hey sis, so thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you got some great gems today from our beautiful Black woman entrepreneur. You got inspired to go do more. You got re-energized and refreshed. We want you to take the best care of yourself. It is our deep belief that we as Black women entrepreneurs deserve to build our wealth without sacrificing our joy or our health. So we deserve to have the joy, the health, and the wealth. And we love helping you to get there. Again, be sure to leave a comment, rate our podcast, and share it with another beautiful Black woman that you know of. Visit our website at www.wocib.org and check out the great merch we have there for you and the workshops. We're working on some wonderful things for you. All right? We look forward to staying in touch, and until next time, be well.